Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all having a great day and that you are all doing well. To start things off, Bakkt's Bitcoin daily futures contract, the physically settled daily futures contract, is apparently quite close to getting the green light from authorities. This is according to a report by the Wall Street Journal. The exchange has been working with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, or the CFTC, to ensure its business plan is compliant with the agency's regulatory framework. A couple of areas that stood out are the exemptions for the exchange to keep customers' bitcoins, cybersecurity issues that could crop up, and the financial liability in the event of a hack. Once the CFTC decides to approve the project, the public has 30 days to weigh in with comments. This is kind of one of the major things because what a lot of people I think don't get is that the way that the cryptocurrency space is slowly moving, not even maybe rapidly moving at this point, is the people who are thinking of potentially getting into the market, the institutional investors, that phrase over and over again. When it comes to cybersecurity issues, this is a very major thing. We've seen or have heard before that other countries, one in particular, has actually been stealing cryptocurrencies from other countries. And if we have a situation where there are cyber hackers who are trying to get other people's information and stuff like that, what then happens if we end up having something with the New York Stock Exchange where they are potentially maybe guarding billions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency? It definitely could be a target because there's simply so much money floating around there. It says Bakkt was developed by Intercontinental Exchange, the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange, as a regulated trading platform for cryptocurrencies where retail and institutional investors can invest in products that are compliant with regulators in the U.S. Bakkt's first product is a futures contract that is poised to increase the liquidity of Bitcoin. I think it's going to do it exponentially. No obvious numbers as of now because no one can tell the future, but I would assume it's in the range of several, I want to say billion per day, but that might take a little bit of time for us to get up to that actual number. But the fact that they're even getting into it is going to have a significant effect on it. Still no word yet as to the, because it's going to be a cryptocurrency trading platform, something similar to Binance and or Coinbase. Still no words as to exactly which coins they're going to launch. I'm going to assume, and I don't know. I think it could be on their platform is probably going to, I mean, obviously Bitcoin. I think it'll be Litecoin, Ethereum. I don't know if they'll go and list Zcash. I don't see that being a major possibility. I can definitely see Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin Cash, and maybe like one or two other coins, but I think they're going to try and go as safe as possible simply because they're trying not to really scare anyone off, and simply because we know that XRP is just having the time of its life in the US because regulators won't kind of get it together. The contract was expected to launch on the 12th of December before it was rescheduled to the first month of the 24th of 2019 next year. At the time, Bakkt CEO Kelly Loeffler had cited that interest and the work required to get all the pieces in place were reasons for the delay. Not going to read through that part. So as of right now, it seems that everything is going to work out well. I think they were also, I don't know if they were on CNBC recently, like a day or two ago, but there was definitely talk about this in the mainstream as far as them getting potential approval. Hopefully this all ends up working out, because if they plan on doing this in about, 36 days, because this month goes on a bit long, somewhere around that time, give or take, I think. Somewhere. Yeah, anyway, the point is, hopefully this ends up launching. I think the market would enter into a slight state of devastation should we not get proper approval for this. The way that a lot of people are thinking about it right now, and this is kind of the thought process to what's going on. If you may have noticed, prices have been going up over the last 7 days. It's because we are nearing the end of the year. People are saying that it has something to do with like what they call like a Santa Claus rally, or like a Santa rally, or end of the year euphoric type thing, where people are trying to make the last bits of money before the next tax season kind of rolls around. So it can be that people in the crypto space are saying that they think that what's happening right now is a bit of a general or overall excitement as we get closer to this, and then therefore if we have confirmation that in some sort of way this could actually end up happening as opposed to the delay that we saw that should have happened a couple of days ago, days ago at this point, which is kind of crazy, that in anticipation for this, they're also gearing up for that, and also the potential of a Bitcoin ETF at I think it's in February of next year. I think that's supposed to be the time frame, the end of the second month. I think that's exactly where it is. People are saying that they think THINK, no one knows for sure, that prices are going to start going up rapidly or exponentially or fastly. That's not a word. When we get confirmation that this is going to happen, when it ends up being launched, the prices will go up even further. Should they start listing coins or announcing what coins are going to have on their platform, that'll also have a significant amount of price movement. But once again, a lot of people are saying that they think that the Bitcoin ETF, either a yay or a nay, will have the final say in exactly where Bitcoin prices end up going. Because if we have a steady momentum going up and we get approval for a Bitcoin ETF, which no one should be holding their breath for, everyone should at this point just assume that we're never going to get one, and I mean never. That if we do, that prices will then shoot up. But as of now, it seems everything is hopefully going. I feel like the CFTC has been a bit more nicer than the SEC when it comes to allowing anything for cryptos to kind of go through. It's kind of how I've seen it. So we are, at this point, it's now 498 days away from this happening. But the Bitcoin reward being cut in half when you are mining Bitcoin it's about a year and a half away, but people are already talking about it. This is a major event that a lot of people think is going to have a significant something on the price of Bitcoin, simply because if there's a lot of interest in cryptocurrencies right now in Bitcoin, and the reward is going to get cut in half, therefore the amount of Bitcoin that are going to be entering circulation after every single block is also going to be cut in half. This will have a huge amount of effect on the price of Bitcoin. We also spoke about this a bit in the last video. We were talking about when the last Bitcoin is going to be mined, and even in the year 2040, how significant that's also going to be. So people have been making graphs and charts, and everyone's already talking about it. I think we might be a bit early to talk about this exact topic. I think in maybe like 460 days or something like that, I may bring up the topic once again, but people are talking about the insane effect that they are thinking that is going to happen on the price of Bitcoin. They think that leading up to it, we may have like a spike in price, and then eventually when we actually have the actual event, there may be no movement at all. It may just simply be like a something that came and went, but as time goes on, and should the price of Bitcoin continue to go higher, and therefore, as we go along in that as well, the reward that people are actually receiving is also getting cut in half. And this is also in the future that Bitcoin is like becoming a leading currency or is widely adopted and used, that the price will then begin to spike up even higher. No one knows at all what's going to happen. I would say it's safe to assume that Bitcoin's price, my opinion, is probably not going to collapse when the reward gets cut in half. That's kind of how I feel about it. There are a lot of analysts out there who think that this will have no effect at all, and that even I've seen some of the craziest numbers that even in by the time this happens, Bitcoin will still not be above $5,000. I don't know where they're getting those numbers from, but if it makes them sleep well at night, then go for it. But people are already talking about this event, and I have a strange feeling it's going to get a lot more attention, especially as we move closer to it. Next up, for those who don't know or have not been here or weren't here before, IOTA was, for a short period of its history, one of the, I don't want to say like most hated cryptocurrencies, but there were a lot of developers in other cryptocurrency projects who came forward often to talk about how messed up IOTA was, how the tangle was tangled, no pun intended at all, how it just wasn't working out, how everything was wrong with it. I think there was also something when they released a wallet and it wasn't working, but that it's also happened with other cryptocurrency projects, not saying that it's right. Nobody wants to lose their money inside of a wallet, but IOTA had been marred in controversy for quite a long amount of time. So the brains behind one of the few cryptocurrencies lacking any form of blockchain has launched a competition to find bugs in their new hash function. The IOTA Foundation is offering a share of $220,000, a very weird number, why not just round it up, to anyone who can demonstrate weakness within the code. The new hash function is called Troika. It was engineered by CyberCrypt, a security company based in Denmark. Hash functions are a vital component of cryptocurrencies. Their purpose is to change data of varying lengths into strings of characters of no whatever, who cares. The point is, so according to a report from the Next Web, the IOTA Foundation is inviting all who care to take part to step up and try to break its new hashing function. Those who are deemed successful by CryptNet will be rewarded with a share of $220,000 that will be paid in either MyOTA or in euros as the victor sees fit. So I guess they're kind of trying to, maybe prove themselves. IOTA has, I said it before in many other videos, I like IOTA. I think they're cool. Part of my thing is that I'm not a developer. And typically what I've seen in the cryptocurrency space, in my own opinion, over the last about 4 or 5 years at this point, when a project is, I put it this way, when a project is hated by normal everyday people, that's something different than if it's hated by developers. As developers typically tend to know each other, and they typically are smart enough to figure out if a project is going to work out more or less or not. There's a huge difference between like general hate against a project and actual hate against the actual protocol that may or may not be working. IOTA is one of the very few coins that we have seen in the past developers and cryptographers openly attacking it multiple times. Like I said, we've seen this for very few coins. I'm not going to list the other coins because I don't want people saying that I'm spreading FUD or something like that. There have been 3 or 4 projects, holding my fingers up. They have been criticized because their code is not right. And IOTA has been one of the strongerly criticized ones of them. And now I guess they're trying to do exactly what Tron did a couple of months ago. It's like they, what's it called? Not a hackathon, but like they're trying to do something where they're pretty much saying, if you find a problem, pretty much tell us. Like, don't just say that you found a problem in our blockchain and don't do anything about it. So I guess this is their way of trying to incentivize people to break their tangle and see. I mean, it kind of is what it is. I assume at this point, with all the partnerships that they've been gathering over the past year, that someone would have found a flaw at some point who's trying to integrate their systems into their stuff. But let's see what actually comes out of this, because I can only assume even Bitcoin. There was a bug found in Bitcoin a couple of months ago at this point. So there are bugs everywhere, and just a matter of how big the bugs are. So I assume we're going to have some very interesting things that may be found within the IOTA code in the next couple of weeks. Gonna breeze over this one as well. The Bitcoin hash rate, the number of hashes per second that the network is performing, has stabilized, undergoing its biggest downward difficulty adjustment in 7 years amid lower Bitcoin price. For those who don't know, what ended up happening was that as Bitcoin's price continued to fall down, the number of miners on the network actually turned off their computers because it simply wasn't profitable enough for them anymore. We had that in another video as well, where someone actually made a chart, and it showed how much it cost to be able to create 1 Bitcoin. It ranged anywhere from $3,000, depending on how sunny your country is, to some countries having like $12,000 in mining costs to be able to mine 1 Bitcoin. And this was when Bitcoin's price was around 33, 34, 3,500, something like that. So since then, they said we had news that the equivalent of anywhere from 400,000 to 800,000, the equivalent of miners around the world had shut off their machines. What Bitcoin actually does is that if people start turning off their machines, the difficulty of it actually decreases as to, I guess, maybe further incentivize people to re-jump on the network as things are becoming easier to do. So this is where we were over the course of 2018. It constantly was going up, even with the prices going down. But as prices continue to slip, I guess you can kind of say it that way, we saw this downward trend because this was people who were turning off their computers, and we got back to the middle of the year when we had that, once again, that euphoric time where everybody thought that as we were getting to the end of the summer, the Bitcoin price and the price of cryptocurrencies would completely skyrocket, but as we know, they did not. So the last couple of weeks, we've seen people turning off their computers, but the last couple of days, I think Bitcoin's difficulty has dropped about, I think it's like 7% or something like that altogether. And as a result, we've seen people turning back on their mining equipment. as it's now easier to mine Bitcoin. I had actually assumed that we would, I mean, it is Bitcoin. I kind of assumed that we would have seen like somewhere around this level again. I thought that people collectively would have thought, hey, let's make sure that it gets incredibly easy again so that we can kind of push through the storm. Nope, not how it works. Everyone is, maybe some people are turning it back on. This is also could be coinciding with the fact that we're now getting a lot of news about things that are going to be happening in 2019. Keep in mind this time frame. Like everything is always working towards like a common goal or a common time frame. It's never anything that's kind of random in the cryptocurrency space. This is all completely calculated. People are trying to make money, obviously, from this, but there's a lot of big money to be made. And even so, quick side note to all of this, there was a video, and I thought it was one of the most interesting things in the entire world. There was something, it had to be about 5-6 years ago, that there was someone on YouTube who was uploading videos of them mining Bitcoin. And I think at this point, yeah, it had to be 2011 or something like that. And he was like, yeah, you know, guys, I've been mining for, 5 or 6 weeks, and it's not really that good. Like I'm maybe getting maybe half a Bitcoin per week, and it's just not that good. And then you kind of look forward. I think he even stopped his channel around 2013, 2014 because the market wasn't really doing anything that crazy. Anyway, if you look back at it now, the thought of being able to mine, he was using, I think, 2 or 3 small computers. Being able to mine half a Bitcoin a week that's 2 Bitcoin a month. Can you imagine? Even at right now, being able to make $8,000 a month from having 3 computers on. So the idea is kind of the same, even though Bitcoin's price is low right now. If Bitcoin does eventually, potentially, maybe one day end up hitting $50,000 per Bitcoin, the hash rate being this low, or the network difficulty going higher, or not being able to profit from it right now might not even be a major concern because you have still made money in the long run. I'm pretty sure I said I wanted to skim over this one. Didn't happen. It's kind of how my brain works. But this is an ongoing story, if you will. If we see any major uptick in the price of cryptocurrencies, and especially in Bitcoin, the hash rate is going to completely explode once again. And let's hope that prices end up being able to keep up with it so that it remains profitable for miners and people to keep the network safe. So we spoke about this a couple days ago. We didn't know it would happen this soon, but lo and behold, social media giant known as Facebook is reportedly looking to develop its own stablecoin for money transfers. Citing anonymous sources familiar with the plan, a Bloomberg report on Friday said that the company will first focus on the Indian market to let users transfer money via a dollar-pegged cryptocurrency on WhatsApp, the messaging app Facebook acquired in 2014. However, the report added that the actual launch of the stablecoin could still be a way off since the initiative is a strategic planning stage, is at the whatever. Currently, WhatsApp has over 200 million monthly active users in India alone. That's insane. India is one of the largest markets for remittances, with migrants sending back $69.5 billion back home in 2017 alone. Are you paying attention to exactly what I'm saying? According to the latest annual report from the World Bank, that's talking about their blockchain thing. So engineers. So David Marcus, who previously served as a vice president for Facebook Messenger app division, heads his blockchain team. In June, the firm appointed Evan Cheng, a senior engineer, as its first blockchain engineer director. Sorry, wow. Completely fell apart. Anyway, it says if Facebook launches the stablecoin they are reportedly building, it will quickly become the most used product in crypto. This was tweeted by Anthony Pompliano, a crypto analyst and founder and partner at Morgan Creek Digital Assets. He said the Indian government has been fighting crypto too, so things are about to get very, very interesting. There's a lot to, even just in the last couple of sentences, there's a lot to really kind of go over. The news that we had from Facebook creating their own coin ran around the idea that they were creating their own cryptocurrency, not the fact that they were creating their own stablecoin. The fact that they are possibly in the process of creating their own stablecoin, I think is probably one of the scariest things that I've ever heard in my entire life, and it's for a couple of reasons. This is not meant to scare you. If you are scared at this point, please maybe skip ahead or just don't listen to exactly what I have to say, but this is all going to kind of make sense. What we've seen over the last couple of months, year and a half, so since we had Tether, is that Tether is an extremely large stablecoin. And even as prices have been going down, Tether has been moving up in the ranks of the cryptocurrency market simply because, prices are depressed, but also people are looking for a way to be able to send money back into, keep it within crypto as they're trading back and forth. If Facebook, first of all, I thought, and I said before, if Facebook was developing a cryptocurrency and they were trying to get it to be used, they have like 1.5 billion, like to 2 billion users or something like that around the world. I'm pretty sure it's close to 2 billion. I'm pretty sure that's a number that I've heard before. Their cryptocurrency would be in the top 10 overnight, automatically. The fact that they're thinking of having or developing a stable coin that's just targeting India right now. And I'll try and get back to that in a second. Just a stable coin that's pegged, I would assume, to the US dollar as like a stable currency, quote unquote. Yeah, dollar peg. Yeah, there we go. To 200 million people. That's as many people as almost live in the entirety of the United States. Imagine if they're trying to get that just in India alone. And these people are sending back this money back and forth. So what we have right now is a situation. I was watching something a couple days ago. It was pertaining to like India, Thailand, Dubai, and something else. Because what's happening is that in Dubai, they build up these massive, beautiful, wonderful buildings. But the people who are doing it are actual migrants. They are usually people from other countries who don't have a way to make a lot of money in their own country. So they come to Dubai or these other countries, and they pretty much I want to say offer their labor. That's kind of the nicest way of kind of saying it. And in return, at the end of the day, when they do make money, they send this money back to their family through Western Union, through MoneyGram, through other ways that they are sending their money back. And typically what actually ends up happening is that they have to pay, same like we've spoken about before, is anywhere from 10, 15 to 25% in fees. Can you imagine trying to send your family back $100 or 100 euros and they receive 75 of it? Like, you know how much that extra 25 would have helped. Imagine a situation right now where pretty much Facebook, Amazon, and Google are like the leaders of the world. Regardless if Facebook stock is going down in value, that's besides the point. They are still going to remain popular regardless. If they create a stable coin that even captures a fraction of this, and this is just what people from India are sending back home to their families, imagine this situation if Facebook opens this up, and they will, to people all across Asia, and then to all across Europe, and then Africa and South America, and then to the United States. Imagine if there are 2 billion users with a B, even if, let's say, 45% of them, let's say we have a situation where 800 million people are actively sending money back and forth, or sending money to their friends, or sending money, hey, I liked what you did. I saw what you did the other day when you were performing. You know, we've been friends for quite some time. I just wanted to say thank you. Here's $15. Here's so-and-so. And they're using Facebook's technology and their stablecoin back and forth. That is competition. I hope, and I mean, you have to understand, this is coming from the heart and my brain at the exact same time. I love the cryptocurrency space, but don't think that the coins that we have right now in the market can't be dominated. We have a lot of companies who are very big. They have a lot of influence. They have a lot of reach. If Facebook does decide, so it said somewhere around here, like still could be a way off. I think that might be the most important sentence that we've ever read in the last like 9 years in cryptocurrency. If they decide to launch this, and I can only assume that they would also try to have it built into not only to WhatsApp, but also into their main platform. I'm pretty sure that might take some regulatory work, but I assume that their talks that they're having behind closed doors are definitely in part of this. Imagine a coin that has 15 to $20 billion going back and forth between it every single day. Facebook also just launched another platform. It's like a Facebook video, Facebook something, where you can, it's supposed to be like an alternative to YouTube, where you kind of put your videos on there. It's not as large, obviously, because I think they just kind of like started it. Imagine a platform like that where you could also tip people. Imagine if Facebook created another app where you could video chat with people, or you could watch people live streaming and stuff like that, and you could also tip them in this same stable coin. This is completely insane, and I think it's being overshadowed by the fact that we are in a bear market. Maybe people are just trying to downplay it. This could be one of the largest things in the entire world. It's like exactly what he just said. It will quickly become the most used product in crypto, and that is without a doubt. So I think the nicest scenario that we could have is if this doesn't get launched until around 2.5 years. I think the more realistic one is having some type of an announcement that they are going to roll this out to people in India in 2019. And I would then want to imagine where else would, can you imagine, oh my gosh, can you imagine if we have Binance's coin and all these other stable coins who are being launched on multiple other platforms? Imagine if Binance, Coinbase, OKEX, CoinSquare, BitThumb, and 5 other places, just those 10 out of the 199 something crypto exchanges that we have in the world, just 10% of them, maybe less, added Facebook's stablecoin to their platform. How much money would be flowing? Imagine people in the cryptocurrency. Imagine if Facebook dropping a coin, it becomes the top one of the top 10 coins, becomes the top 7, top 8. Imagine 10 major cryptocurrency platforms listing Facebook's coin and people using it as an actual stable coin. Should the dollar, should crypto prices start going down and they have to push their money into a stable coin, think of how insane that would become. I shudder to think of the possibility of it becoming the number 3 coin, of the number 2 coin. Nothing is sure in crypto. No one knows. Nothing. Not a person, not anyone on this universe. If you think that Facebook hasn't been gunning for the number 1 spot in the cryptocurrency space, I would tell you you're probably completely incorrect. Facebook has the money behind them and the know-how and the money, once again, to make sure that their coin becomes incredibly popular. And I can only assume there's definitely at least 3 people on their team in their round table. I assume it looks something like Camelot, talking about this, who are definitely like, if we put enough money behind this and enough of an initiative, that they could try and make this the number 1 coin in the cryptocurrency space. I know that scares a lot of people. I know you think I'm spreading FUD. You have to look at it from a logical standpoint. Facebook is massive. And the fact that they're even thinking of doing this is completely insane. And I wonder exactly how this is going to play out, especially right here. The Indian government has not been too friendly when it comes to cryptocurrencies. The only things that they have been friendly to is the Ripple team, as Ripple now has an office there, and they also, the whole thing about them trying to airdrop to every single person within India. I'm going to assume if you have a situation where you are trying to launch a service for at least 200 million people in India, they probably are having active conversations about actually launching this. I will try my darndest to keep up with all of this Coinbase coin, stablecoin news. It's a lot more significant than I think people are letting on. Heaven forbid, should we have a situation where this actually ends up being a relatively hyper-used stablecoin, and then other payment platforms start adding it. Like, imagine if PayPal added it. Imagine if we got us into a situation where crypto became too volatile and we simply had Facebook's coin being added to as a payment option to the Apple website or to Amazon, because they're like, well, you know, it's relatively stable. We still get our money. People use crypto and they're happy. It's a lot to think about. I warned you guys before. If you needed to skip ahead, do so, because it was going to get a bit crazy. But the fact that we are, I don't know, I guess moving towards this is very significant. But yeah, crazy times ahead. Let's move on. Next up, Coinbase is in the news. Starting on the 20th of December, this was yesterday, residents of 6 new European countries will now have access to Coinbase. They are Andorra, Gibraltar, Guernsey, Iceland, the Isle of Man, and Lithuania. So Coinbase has been having this thing called like the coins of Coinbase, the days of Coinbase, the Christmas of Coinbase, 12 days of Coinbase. They've been announcing things that have been happening, and they've all been incredibly dry, incredibly boring. I had high hopes for this entire event. This was probably one of the most boring publicity stunts that I have ever seen in my entire life. I think this could have been completely done away with. I realistically think Coinbase could have just had a thing where they just listed on their Twitter every single day. Hey, we're giving away gift cards. Hey, we're donating money. Hey, we're doing this. They added a wish list. I don't think that needed to be a thing at all. They listed the USD coin. That was day 7. Day 9 was they listed 4 coins. Excuse my thought process, but that no one really was asking them for. Like, Golem is kind of cool, but there definitely wasn't there weren't 1,000 people knocking on their door saying, hey, can you please add Maker? I really need some DAI coin right now. Yes, this was another thing they did. Coinbase Earn, where they're going to be paying people, I think, in another coin that people really don't care for, to keep them engaged and to learn about crypto. And on day 11 of their Coinbase event, they announced that they're, oh my gosh, how boring can you be as a company, that they were adding 6 other European countries to be able to use their platform. You know how boring you have to be and how like horribly managed as a cryptocurrency exchange to launch a 12-day event and every single day so far has been completely boring? You know how hard that is? You could have, can you imagine if just 12 days they had even just announced new coins? That would have gotten so much attention for them as a company. The fact that they have and some of the stuff that they were announcing was already stuff that they already had before. Day 5 was the availability of PayPal withdrawals. I heard that from people in the comment section like 6 days before that was even a thing. The listing of the USD coin, when I mentioned that on day 7 of their thing that they were adding another new coin to their platform, people said that was also on their app about a week and a half before they even announced it. I just don't get it. My hope had been that Coinbase would have tried to redeem themselves. Just the most boring company in the cryptocurrency space right now. I used to think that Gemini was boring. Coinbase now gets the crown. My hope was that day 12 they were going to announce something that they were going to list, even like a batch of 20 coins at once, and XRP was going to be one of them. Coinbase, you had so many chances. I don't know who's running that company. Please get new marketing. For the love of crypto, and I really mean it. It's just, I've never in my life. Can you imagine creating a company that's so popular and so powerful and so rich, and you do nothing with your platform? Like, you do absolutely nothing to bring. Coinbase has been losing so much market share to Binance and OKEX and Bithumb over the last 9 months. It's absolutely horrifying. And to do nothing about it is kind of whatever weird, especially since why not? Can you imagine if they had listed Cardano, if they had listed Stellar, if they had listed EOS, any of the other forks from Bitcoin and or Ethereum, like anything else in the entire world? Wasted opportunity. I thought about breezing over that. Clearly my frustration. I mean, how boring can you be? It's just so ridiculous. I have a friend. He was paying attention to it as well, because he was like, oh yeah, maybe they'll do something really cool, because like you get into these situations where like you talk with your friends and you hear like, people around the internet had heard that Coinbase was doing like a 12 days of Coinbase thing, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, they're going to do such cool things and like list this and so and so and so, like they're definitely going to have something like cool for the last day. And he was sending me like screenshots of the things that they were doing with little people like sleeping and stuff like that, and like, people like with their hand in their chin and rolling their eyes. Like, how mismanaged can you be as a company? I just don't get it. If you live in one of these countries, that's absolutely wonderful. You can now use this boring platform as well. I'm gonna move on from this. It's crazy. It's crazy. If I had a platform like Coinbase, my goodness, the things I would be doing. My actual goodness. To finish things up, France is in the news. The lower house of the French Parliament has rejected the amendments of the 2019 finance bill, which would ease crypto-related taxation. French monthly business magazine Capital reported on the 18th of December. The amendments that have been declined by the National Assembly referred to a draft of the government financial bill for 2019. As explained by local crypto news outlet Bitcoin.fr, the Parliament rejected 4 proposals in total. One of them was to introduce a distinction between regular crypto transactions and occasional ones, offering a more relaxed taxation system for the latter. This is exactly what we were talking about 2 days ago. A lot of different countries around the world have been giving proper crypto regulation, so and so, as to exactly what's going to happen with cryptocurrencies inside of their country. And it was my idea. I was like, hey, there should, if not a distinction, maybe just a complete turnaround as far as a lot of countries have it so that if you are transacting in cryptocurrencies, you are taxed on it. And I feel like if crypto is going to be a mainstream thing and if we are going to be using it to buy couches and slippers and something like that in the future, you maybe want to have something where like occasional transactions aren't taxed, or maybe after like a certain threshold. Like I could totally see something like if you're spending more than 10,000 so and so in crypto, maybe you have to then report that, or maybe you have to then be taxed on it like a couple of percent. But the fact that you're taxed on everything is a little stupid. Another amendment proposed to increase the annual volume of transactions that fall under tax exemption from 305 euros to 3,000 euros or even 5,000 euros. The National Assembly also declined the proposal to follow the current guidelines for securities when introducing crypto taxation. Without reading any more, here we go. There, right there. The income tax rate, they lowered it in France. Maybe it was proposed, also knocked down. Nope, status remains unclear. They were trying to lower the income tax rate for cryptocurrencies from 36% down to 30% within France, which is still extremely high for anything that you're trying. Can you imagine trying to buy something and then you get taxed 36%? What in the world is actually happening? The point is, I am going to go out on the limb and I'm going to say that the way that it's looking right now is that France is probably not going to be a leader in the cryptocurrency space. Not to get political, but you may have seen stuff that's happening or has been happening for the last 3 or 4 weeks within France. I think, first of all, I lived in France before. I have a lot of friends who still live in France, and the things that they tell me are just not the peachiest or nicest things in the entire world. I think the French government is completely detached from how things actually work in the real world. It's nice to hear, though, that other European countries have gotten it together or have made sure that they are making the Southern European countries talking about that they wanted blockchain, what's it called? Adoption to continue and spread, and they were also working on regulations for cryptocurrencies that were going to be more relaxed than other ones, and also the Eastern European countries who have kind of taken a small liking to it. For some reason, France hasn't gotten it together. I don't think that they will. That's just kind of my prediction. The fact that things, just even being open to the fact that there's a new industry that could potentially offer you not only new money in startups, but also people potentially moving to your country to be able to spend the cryptocurrencies in your country and therefore increase the amount of money that's flowing into the taxes and also then therefore goes back to the citizens. Nope, all been rejected. But not everyone, and I told my friend this before, everybody wants to be rich, but not everybody is going to be rich. And every country is not going to be a leader in the cryptocurrency space. Regardless of what they think or what they want, that is just not going to happen. I think that's definitely going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely fantastic. A lot of crazy stuff happening in the cryptocurrency space. We are very near to 2019. For those who didn't know or haven't looked at the calendar, it's slowly creeping its way forward. I'm trying, and I mean this in reality, I'm trying to keep my hopes low to the ground as far as possible. I got very hyped up in 2018 thinking that this would be a crazy year for cryptocurrencies. I'm trying to be a bit more believable, but with all the really nice stuff that we have happening within the first 8 weeks of 2019, it's a little difficult not to be super pumped. Thank you all once again. And yeah, I will talk to you all soon. See you.